Hi everyone, today I'm going to do a soft sculpt makeup. So this is really to show you the power of it because it looks like nothing, like you're hardly putting anything on your face. The colors won't be bright, but I chose today to film this because I am exhausted. For some reason, I didn't sleep at all last night. And then when I was speaking to friends and when I came into the studio, no one had slept last night. So I don't know what was going on. It is hot here at the moment, but I don't think it was that because it's been hot for over a week. Maybe it's a new moon or something, but yeah, nobody slept last night. So I thought, well, this is quite a good one. It's quite a minimal makeup, but it's a really good one when you just need to define those features. I've already done my skincare. I use mist all over and then SPF, which is kind of enough moisturization pretty much for me, but I'm also going to mix a little bit of this Ven moisturizer, just a small amount, with some foundation because I'm going to do a light buff all over and then a little bit more just in the center of my face. So I'm just going to start off around the center, kind of like a tinted moisturizer as a base, and then I'll use a little bit more just foundation on its own, just in the areas where I've got redness or anything that I want to just lift a little bit more in terms of shadows and things. I'm going to go back in with one pump and a smaller brush and then just build up coverage where I need it, especially when I'm tired. I get quite shadowy around here. I'm going to do a little bit under my eyes, but I am also going to do some concealer there as well. Chin area, a little lift there in the eyes, sorry, the corner of the lips. Center, a little bit on the sides there. So while that's settling in, I'm going to start with my eyes. I'm going to start with this stick cream eyeshadow. This kind of sculpted eye look that I'm doing today, you can either do it all with creams or you can do it with powders. It doesn't really matter. The concept is, or the idea is, that we're just going to make my eye look natural, but with some sculpting. So we're just using light and shade. So the kind of colors you want to be choosing would be anything that creates a natural shadow. So this color here, that is the natural shadow, I don't have any makeup on this eye yet. That's the kind of color I'm looking for, but maybe just a tiny bit deeper than that. So it doesn't really matter what skin tone you are. If you just look into the mirror in daylight, you can kind of get a feel for, that's the kind of color of the shadow that I'm looking for my eyes. And usually that color will also work on the rest of the face as well. So bronzers actually work really well for doing this. You might just want a couple of different shades, one which is lighter and one which is slightly cooler and one which is warmer. So you do at least get some definition between light and shade. So I'm calling this my light shade, and you can see this is a slightly cooler, lighter version of the natural tone on my eyelid anyway. So we're still kind of working with those natural tones. And that's kind of going to be a base. So that's like that. So for my soft sculpt, I'm going to use probably in between these two shades here. This one will be too light, a bit too warm. This one is cooler and deeper, but in between it's going to be probably perfect. I might even start with this one and then blend this one in. So depending on your skin tone, obviously, this is a redder version with a deeper, that would work on a much deeper skin tone. Or you could use just different bronzers. You know, you can get some great shades that one could be a bit cooler and lighter and one is a bit warmer. And that way you can really sculpt and shape. And of course it works so well on your face as well. A little bit of shimmer is fine, but you don't want to go like massively glittery, because what that will do is it means that you're not sculpting, you're not shading, because the shimmer will come forward and you want the area to go back. So it shouldn't be light reflective, or at least not too light reflective. So I'm going to start with this color just into my socket line. So I'm going to keep my whole lid area pretty neutral as it is now. And really, you just use your eyes, your depth really as your guideline. And if your eyes are very hooded, then you can just relax your eyes and almost just sculpt in where you want that depth to be. You can almost make your own socket line, if that makes sense. So I'll show you with using the deeper shade on me how I do that, because I definitely have more hooding in this eye. So if I was to look ahead there and really relax my eye, which do look tired today, I would see where it should be, lift up, apply it, relax. Yeah, that's in the right place. Lift up. I'm just going to dab it in, I'll blend it in a sec. And you can see, even when I'm relaxed, I'm starting to get this sense of a deeper socket line there and a more sculpted eye. Do you know what? I don't even need to blend that looking at it. I was going to go back in, but that's actually done. So that was fast. And already, once I've got my mascara on, I'm sculpted underneath, and I've got a little bit of concealer on, because I noticed I'm quite red under the eyes today, and that is definitely the tiredness kicking in. Now on this side is slightly different because I'm not as hooded. So I'll look straight ahead, looking at the other eye as well. And I find it's a little bit less needed this side. Like that's probably enough on that side. Bring this one in a little bit as well. So that's kind of it. I know it doesn't look like I've done much, but by the time my mascara's gone on and I show you the before and after, you're really going to see the difference, trust me on this. This is a look that I really like to do on clients that want a natural look, but they want to look good on camera, or they need to look kind of really fresh and awake when they're maybe not feeling like that. And it just looks so good. So before I do anything else, I'm going to go in with a little bit of under eye concealer, just into those dark shadowy bits there. I'm going to blend that with a sponge just to pat that one in, and then we'll do some sculpting underneath as well. I'm just going to pop a tiny bit of powder just on that concealing that I just did. I might need a little bit more concealing in a second, but while I do some sculpting underneath my eye. So I'm going to use the same two shades that I used, that mix of a sort of shadow, a touch more of the warmer one actually, and just shade underneath like that. So it's really soft, it's definitely not a line, and then just bring that up at the outer edge, not in a wing at all, but just to finish off that corner. It just sculpts the shape. And what you want with this underneath the eye shading is it to be a really soft, almost big shadow. So it shouldn't have an edge to it at all. It needs to almost look like you are drawing in a dark, shadowy area, which I know feels counterintuitive because you're usually lightening up under your eyes. But you need this to be shaded to get this effect that I'm going for. So it's more of a suggestion of shape. It's not about a defining line. The first thing I'm going to do now is just my lower lashes. So just pulling the mascara through those lower lashes, get down to the roots. Then I'm going to curl my upper lashes, then going through the upper lash line as well, but I'm keeping them really separated. So it's a light sculpt, still very soft and sculpty, but with a nicely lifted and defined lash. Now I'm going to finish skin, so I'm going to go in and do some pinpoint concealing here and there, just directly onto any shadowy areas or any little blemishes. A good thing to do if you're shading quite a lot underneath your eyes and shading round through the socket, especially if you're feeling a bit tired, is to use a beigey or off-white pencil just along the waterline, but really lightly. Stay away from the lash line because that's a dead giveaway. and just a few very delicate strokes so that it's very minimal. And if you go too much, like that one I think is now too much, just take a small brush or something just to blend it in. I'm going to do that right now. So I'm just blending that to make it a little bit more subtle. That's better. So onto the face, I'm going to go back in with the shade that I used around my eyes, this one, the lighter of the two shades that I used around my eyes, and just sculpt a little bit underneath and around this area of my face, keeping it quite natural though. It's just a little bit of like a bronzy effect. As I say, use your usual bronzer for this, or you can use something that works in both areas. This actually works really nicely on my skin tone as a sculptor. A little bit of warmth there, just at the top of my hairline. So it's kind of like not really underneath the cheekbones. It's kind of coming underneath the cheekbones, but then going up onto the cheek. So it's quite high up, sort of there. A bit along my neck. And then touch on the brow bone. Not much, because you want to keep that light still up there. So we have light shade, light shade. That's what we want on the eyes. So I'm just going back in with powder just because I'm starting to get shiny on the center of my face. It's absolutely boiling in here, and I definitely need extra powder while the weather is like this. I'm going to go back in with my bronzer that I just used just across the bridge of my nose as well. So I'm just going to put some brow gel on my brows. If they need filling in, fill them in. Mine are quite full at the moment. I've been very good on the brow serum, so I don't have the gaps that I usually have. And then to finish off, I'm going to do my lips with a kind of natural shade. Just going to follow the natural lip shape. It's just with a lucent blot. Then I'm going to use my lip brush just to shape a bit more. So I'm doing what I would call a soft sculpt of the lips now. So rather than using a pencil or something that looks kind of obviously sculpted, you could use a slightly deeper shade of lipstick as well. But I'm going to just use the same shade, but more precisely applied. And I'm just going to soften those edges so that sculpting feels extra soft. And a touch more lipstick. And that is my soft sculpting makeup, which probably doesn't look like much at all at this stage, but let's compare with the before shot. See the difference there? And that is the power of a speedy, soft sculpt. It looks like nothing going on, but it makes all the difference. I actually feel more awake now as well. And that is the power of makeup, and that's why we love it. So I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you soon. Lots of love. Bye.